The EST is going to WrestleMania. We are going to talk about how Bianca Belair became the first African American woman to win the Royal Rumble and who she possibly go on to face at Royal Rumble, as well as the whole pay-per-view. Stay tuned because this is your Royal Rumble review. What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking about Royal Rumble. Man, what a show we had. And I won't lie, after the show last night, I wasn't feeling how I feel today, right now, as I'm recording, coming to you guys. But in hindsight, they put on a very, very good pay-per-view. And pay-per-views in the Thunderdome have been really good if we are completely honest with ourselves. And this was nothing short of that in hindsight. You know, I'm really happy with how the pay-per-view went. Obviously not happy with some of the results, particularly the men's Rumble, but we'll get to that. But yeah, Royal Rumble 2021 is in the books and we're going to review it in just a second. So stay tuned. And right here at WrestleMania UK, I discuss everything that is WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the Royal Rumble review. And the show begun with the pre-show, Asuka and Charlotte defending their women's tag titles against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. And I'm surprised because I never thought I'd ever see Charlotte on a pre-show, you know, especially Charlotte at the height of who she is right now. But, you know, they just wanted to put a match there just to get everyone ready. And it was a pretty decent match. This is the first time that the women involved have actually looked like tag teams, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, and Asuka and Charlotte doing tag team moves, defending each other, quick tags, all of that kind of stuff. It was very, very interesting, really, really good. I had a feeling going into this one that Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax may be picking up the titles just because Charlotte and Asuka haven't done much with them since they've become champions. And as the match went on and on, Asuka was kind of taken out for a long period and Charlotte was just bossing the entire thing. You know, they booked Charlotte a bit too strong here, kicking out at one, taking on two people at once. Like, Charlotte is literally like just some monster. Like, you've got to let Charlotte at one point go for the WWE Championship because that's the way you lot are booking her. You see what I mean? Like, it's not very realistic to the division she's in my opinion. We had the through line in this match of Lacey Evans and Ric Flair. You know, Ric Flair's music hits, and Charlotte looks towards the entranceway. She's thinking, oh my God. Lacey Evans runs out of nowhere. And I think at the time, Charlotte Flair had a, what do you call it? The figure of 8 locked in on Shayna Baszler, I think it was. Lacey kind of knocked down her arm, so she kind of lost her balance there. But Charlotte got it back locked in, and then you see Ric Flair going over to Lacey Evans, and he hands her what is only to be believed as knuckle dusters, which she put on her fist and delivered a woman's right to Charlotte, which basically knocked out Charlotte. We saw Nia Jax give Charlotte a leg drop and pin Charlotte. So good that the Raw Women's Champion wasn't pinned. But obviously, like I just described, it took a lot to put Charlotte away. And yeah, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, the new tag team champions, the women's tag champions. So yeah, hopefully they are a bit more active with those titles. And yeah, I guess Charlotte is gonna start getting ready to take the title off Asuka and go off into her WrestleMania program as the women's champion. I'm sure we can assume that's gonna happen. Right. First things first, on the actual card, the WWE Championship match is how we kicked off the pay-per-view. Imagine Drew McIntyre defending against Goldberg. And, you know, as this match started, I'm sure not just myself, we were all fearing the worst. Is Goldberg in shorts going to beat Drew McIntyre? Before the bell, we saw Drew McIntyre actually attack Goldberg. Headbutt, early doors, bounced off the rope, spear to Goldberg. Okay, I'm thinking, all right, go for the pin. Then I realized the bell hasn't even gone yet. Goldberg rolls outside. Goldberg throws Drew McIntyre into the stairs, spears him through the barricade. And I'm thinking, oh my God, here we go. Goldberg and Drew McIntyre get back into the ring. Drew McIntyre's holding his ribs, nursing his rib area. And I'm thinking, he's made him weak. this is going to be an easy win for Goldberg now. Oh my God. Like I was literally hands on my head. I'm thinking, oh my God, I can't watch this. And it was, very much like the guys always say, a 2K match, spamming off finishers, Claymore attempts, spears, jackhammers, all of that kind of stuff until a final Claymore connected with Goldberg and Drew McIntyre pinned him 1, 2, 3 and retained the WWE Championship. The universal sigh of relief when Drew McIntyre must have, his arm was raised as still the WWE Championship must have been enormous. Great to see that they didn't, just basically job him out to Goldberg. And to be honest, I laughed at the time, but I really liked the little sign of respect after the match between Goldberg and McIntyre. A bit of a hug, a bit, some kind words that Drew McIntyre said that Goldberg said to him and stuff like that. I'll tell you guys, I like Goldberg. I always have liked Goldberg. I always will like Goldberg. It's unfortunate he got to the stage of his career where he can no longer perform as he once did. It's unfortunate that he's hurt a couple of people along the way. I mean, physically, but I like Goldberg. Just don't put him in championship matches. Bring him in for the one-off marquee matches with somebody. But do not put him in a championship match. That is just my opinion. It's not fair on the younger talent coming through and stuff like that. That's not how he should be used in my opinion. But thank God we didn't get, what we were all fearing. Next up on the card, the women's championship match for Smackdown. Sasha Banks versus Carmella. This was a late addition to the card, and I'm very happy it was because Sasha Banks has been brilliant. I don't know how you were even you forgot to announce it or what, like why this was kept off the card for so long until literally the day before, 2 days before the Rumble. It was announced. Really good match from the jump. Literally, as they both got on the ring and the bell went, Sasha Banks tried to apply the bank statement. Wasn't successful. Carmella fought her way back into this match, and Carmella has been brilliant, it has to be said. She's grown so much as a performer. Her character work has always been pretty good. Nothing to ever talk about, badly there. Of course, we had Reginald on the outside helping Carmella. At one point, he even caught Sasha Banks when Sasha Banks was falling out the ring. Maybe he was still thinking that Sasha was flirting from him from last week on SmackDown, if you saw that. Sasha Banks slapped him. A referee saw that Reginald actually didn't do anything to Sasha Banks, and then the referee gave it the old one of those, threw Reginald out of the arena. So the match was purely just Sasha Banks versus Carmella. Carmella as well locked in a code of silence. I remember at one point, that's a fantastic looking finisher, submission hold. It really should be I wish she was kind of booked a bit stronger, and she was using that and really putting people away. We saw a failed frog splash attempt by Sasha Banks with the knees up from Carmella. But in the end, Sasha Banks did retain with a bank statement. Her run goes on, still the SmackDown Women's Champion. And I guess she's watching in the back now as to who was going to be her challenger come WrestleMania. I'm sure she'll defend her title a couple more times before WrestleMania. But Sasha Banks really racking up those wins as SmackDown Women's Champion now, correcting the days of old where she couldn't defend her championship. So really love to see it. Right, guys, before we get into the second half of the pay-per-view, if you haven't already and you're enjoying today's live stream, if you're enjoying today's review, smash that like button, please. And thank you. It's fully appreciated every time you guys do, and it does loads for the channel. So one more time, if you haven't already, whether you're watching live or if you're going to watch this back afterwards on my channel, please make sure you smash the like button. Thank you very much. Next up, Women's Royal Rumble. Now, it's going to be kind of hard for me to go through all of the eliminations and all of the people that entered. I'm not even going to attempt to try and do that. But we had Bayley enter number 1. And this, a lot of people predicted this is going to be Bayley 1, Bianca Belair entering number 2. It wasn't quite that. We got Bayley entering number 1 and a returning Naomi entering as number 2. Brilliant to see. She commanded a massive crowd pop last 2020 when she returned. She's returned this year as well, and I hope she's fit and healthy to have a good run back on the main roster now. just see Jar in the comments. I won't say your comment just right now, bro, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone that's watching along. But yeah, we saw Bianca Belair enter number 3. And we saw fun interactions between Bianca Belair and Bayley. Obviously, they've got an ongoing feud on SmackDown right now. I thought these were going to be the last two in the ring. We saw great interactions between Naomi and Sasha Banks, who have never, met before in this capacity in a match. So it was very interesting to see those two go at it. Two of the best kind of actual athletes on the women's roster, I would say, in my opinion. And yeah, after that, the match began to fill out with people. We saw Billie Kay have a kind of comedy line through because she was waiting for like a tag partner to enter the Rumble with. We saw returns from the likes of Jillian Hall, who I couldn't remember too tough, but I was reminded by friends I was watching with. Victoria was great to see her. Definitely someone that's not given her accolades in this thing. We saw Tori Wilson in the Rumble as well. I think at number 16, I think it was, Rhea Ripley entered, and Rhea Ripley, they gave her the 8K camera. She was the first person that got the 8K camera view when she came in. And I thought, man, here comes the winner. Here comes the winner. And she had a really good showing as well. Obviously, we got a lot of NXT people in the Rumble as well. Charlotte was in the Rumble as well at some point. And as we knew, Natalya entered number 30 because she won the match on WWE Backstage the night before. We had one spot as well when Alexa Bliss entered. Everyone jumped Alexa Bliss. Everybody jumped Alexa Bliss. Obviously, she's got some type of demonic spirits inside her right now. She tried to evolve into, I guess, her Lady Fiend character. Rhea Ripley dumped her outside the ring. So it's going to be interesting. Is Rhea Ripley going to be... I'm sure Rhea Ripley's called up to main roster now. Is Alexa Bliss going to be like her first feud? That could be very, very interesting. But yeah, as the match went on, we were left with a final 3 of Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Charlotte Flair. And 2 of my 3 picks were still in this. My third pick being Bayley, but Bayley got eliminated about halfway through by Bianca Belair. And I love the fact Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair ganging up on Charlotte to eliminate her. If you guys remember from the time Charlotte came down to NXT last year, preparing for the WrestleMania match, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair was very much involved in that picture. And Bianca Belair said the infamous line, "You don't even go here," to Charlotte Flair, which became a bit of a thing. So these two kind of calling back to that and attacking Charlotte Flair and eliminating Charlotte Flair was massive. It was really good. They went on to actually wrestle and loads of close eliminations for like the next 5 minutes after that. That was the best part of this entire match. Those two were so good towards the end. And eventually Bianca Belair dumped Rhea Ripley over the top to become the Women's Royal Rumble winner. It was absolutely fantastic. The first ever black woman, African-American woman to win the Royal Rumble. And yes, the female Royal Rumble hasn't got like a long history, but they have spotted something with Bianca Belair and they have pulled the trigger now. This woman hasn't been wrestling for 5 years yet. I don't know how many people know this. She was signed to NXT in 2016, April 2016, off the back of being a CrossFit competitor. Yeah, straight into wrestling. She had no previous wrestling experience. Less than 5 years later, she has won the Royal Rumble and she's going to have her chance at the Women's Championship almost 5 years to the day she signed in NXT. That is phenomenal. So massive props to Bianca Belair. She deserves it. I know a lot of people are going to say that was my prediction, everything. It was a lot of people's predictions, but I just think watching it happen and come true is just amazing. So, yeah, big up Bianca Belair. Honestly, big her up, because this is something that I think we all wanted, but we just thought, WWE, we're not going to get it. But we got it, and they have created a megastar. Honestly, they've created a megastar. So big up Bianca Belair. Next up, we had the Universal Championship match, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. last man standing. And obviously, these two's feud have been very, very good since it began. Once the bell rang, these two were at it. I literally blinked from the moment they were in the ring and started fighting. And before I knew it, they were up in the stands of the Thunderdome. Roman Reigns throwing Kevin Owens off the screen area like he did on SmackDown some weeks back. Brutal stuff. These guys went backstage into, the actual arena, Tropicana Field. They were fighting backstage. We saw Roman Reigns knock over Kevin Owens with a buggy, like they did in AEW, Sammy Guevara, Matt Hardy. We saw a swanton bomb from the top of a forklift, Kevin Owens doing a swanton bomb onto Roman Reigns. These two just didn't stop. It was like go the entire time. It was absolutely crazy. Jar has just said in the comments that it was an incredible match. It really was, bro. It was amazing. Let's get on to it. Basically, Kevin Owens, as they came back into the arena, Kevin Owens used handcuffs and handcuffed Roman Reigns to part of the set. And it was really good because obviously Roman was down on the floor, handcuffed down low on the floor. And as the count was coming, he didn't know what to do with himself. The referee was at 8, 9. Roman Reigns grabbed the referee and threw him into part of the set, which knocked out the referee and stopped the count. Absolutely genius. Heel heat at its finest. Eventually, Paul Heyman came in. In fact, between this, I think Roman Reigns dished Kevin Owens a low blow after Kevin Owens had chained him to the set. Paul Heyman came in with looking for a key to try and unchain Roman Reigns. This took longer than usual. I can only imagine this was a botch. And Kevin Owens, eventually his groggy self, got back up, and Roman Reigns locked in a guillotine, which that was it. Kevin Owens passed out. Roman Reigns retained. The ending wasn't quite as fitting as the rest of the chaos of the entire match, but very, very good match. I said this for weeks. Put Kevin Owens in a last man standing match and you're going to get a brilliant match. And that's exactly what we got. And Roman done his bit too. Even the swanton bomb from the forklift, I didn't think Roman was going to take that. I thought he was going to roll out the way, but Roman done his bit. So kudos to both men. Last but not least, guys, we're going to get on to the actual Royal Rumble for the men. Randy Orton entering after Edge. Edge entered first. These two just scrapped from the beginning, as you would expect them to. A lot of bad blood there. Scrapped all around the ring as well. Edge taking a chair to Randy Orton, which actually made Randy Orton limp out of the ringside area and limp to the backstage area with the help of the referees and stuff. I didn't enjoy this Rumble too much, if I'm completely honest with you. We saw a lot of the guys come in, and I just thought there was a lack of something was missing. It was good to see Carlito. I will say that Carlito came in, I think, number 8. Christian came in as well. That's someone that's said he'll never wrestle again because of his injuries and he'll never be cleared. So it was great to see Christian in the Rumble as well. We saw Bad Bunny, who performed earlier in the night, take to the top rope, and he done a crossbody dive onto Miz and Morrison. A bit of fun there, a bit for the entertainment scene, I guess. Damian Priest had a very strong showing. Kane met him in the ring, and Damian Priest eliminated Kane. So, I think that was a bit of a passing of the torch in terms of size and everything, and the amount of eliminations made on the night. Damian Priest definitely made himself felt. We saw Hurricane enter, which was very interesting for me because it wasn't too long ago that Hurricane was on AEW. And he tried, that same double chokeslam spot that we've seen before. He tried it on Bobby Lashley and Big E, and those two worked together before eliminating him. Bobby Lashley, I think it took the best part of 3 or 4 men to eliminate him, so keeping him strong, even though I would have liked him to stay a bit longer. Big E, he was literally picked across the top rope by Omos, which is very controversial. A lot of people aren't happy how Big E was eliminated. we saw, I can't remember who else we saw. Seth Rollins returned, of course. He came in at number 29. We thought that he was not going to have an interaction with Matt Riddle in this match, but he actually had an interaction and eliminated Matt Riddle. So maybe those guys have squashed their beef to some degree, because obviously last time we saw those two in a ring, Seth just sacrificed himself and said, I'm not doing this. So yeah, maybe we've got past that. We saw Strowman come out number 30. Strowman very smart in eliminating AJ Styles, because AJ Styles was obviously being saved every time he was near elimination by Omos. Strowman decided to throw him out on a different side of the ring where Omos wasn't standing. So yeah, I think the final 4 or so was Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, Edge, and Christian. These guys were all kind of eliminated one by one. I think it was left down to Seth Rollins and was it Seth Rollins and Edge? And then Edge was left in the ring. All you see, Randy Orton turn him around. RKO. I guess we were expecting that. And he was attempting to be thrown out the ring when Edge all of a sudden reversed it and threw Randy Orton over the top rope, and Edge got the win. So Edge is going to WrestleMania. You know, I understand the redemption story and all of that kind of stuff, and Edge is a fan favorite, especially at Mania, you know, where they're going to try and get people back into the arena. This is a big match, whatever he's going to be involved in. I just don't think, you know, I'm looking at how you just created an absolute star with Bianca Belair, and I'm just thinking you could have done the exact same thing here. You know, you've given it to someone who is of yesteryear, if you like. Is that a bit of a waste? We'll wait and see. I don't think Drew should be losing to Edge, personally. I think Drew should beat Edge to kind of end Edge's hopes on the title, and that will be another legend that you know, Drew has overcome right now, overcoming Goldberg, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, and then Edge. That could be very good, because if Edge is going to win the title, I would rather Drew drops the title to Randy Orton at Fastlane or something, honestly. I don't think Edge, someone that's been away from the ring for so long, should be pinning Drew McIntyre that you've built up really well over the last year. I don't think it should happen. So I'd rather, if that's the case, Drew drops the title sooner rather than later. Just looking at the comments, Jar said Kane and Daniel Bryan hugged. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was the Royal Rumble. So despite a couple of iffy endings, you know, the Reigns and Kevin Owens match, and then the actual men's Royal Rumble, this was a really good pay-per-view, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all enjoyed the review. A lot of programming on this channel this week, so please make sure you have subscribed so you don't miss anything, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button to show that you liked the video. Bianca Belair. Look at her, the women's Royal Rumble winner. I can't wait to see from Friday on Smackdown what she's going to get herself involved in. But yeah, what a star. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to Edge as well for winning the men's Royal Rumble. Congratulations to everyone on the night, man. This was a really, really good Royal Rumble. I was quite annoyed last night when I went to bed after this, I'm not going to lie. But this morning on reflection, they put on a really good show. So yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow with a Raw review. Back tomorrow with Wrestle Extra as well. So yeah, check me out tomorrow. Yeah, WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.